Hello YouTubers, today I have an Xbox Series S model. So this one doesn't power up at all. You don't even get no beep or nothing. So we got it plugged in. I get nothing on here. No light. No noise. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull this power supply off. We're going to test the power supply. This is going to be fun because I don't have a board view for this. You can see obviously this board here doesn't have no layout of the components. Which more or less like the overseas models I've seen some of them, or the first runs of these, will normally have the test pads. So I'm going to have to come across one of these to keep just for the layout for the schematics, unfortunately. Because, you know, the schematics they fell off the back of a truck in China, which is surprising. So, but I don't know what test points are what here, really, to tell you the truth. I mean, you have a couple voltage. So normally you would have marked test points on this. So in this case, we're just going to go off these two shiny dots here. These pads here. So each pad is a test pad here. All these. So what we're going to do is we're going to be testing to make sure we don't have a short on our 12 volt. But let's test the power supply first. We got that plugged in. And we should have 12 volts. Close enough. It's good enough. So we know it's not the power supply itself. I'm betting it's going to be a shorted capacitor somewhere. So what we're going to do is we're just going to test some of these rails. I'm shooting blind because I don't have a board view for this, unfortunately. So I'm going to switch to the side camera here. Alright. So I'm going to put my meter in dial mode. Red probe on ground, anywhere. And we're just going to test some of these rails here. Let's test the 12 volt. Make sure that's not shorted. Alright, that's not shorted. Move some of this stuff here. Check the circuitry over here, 12 volts. Good. Obviously we don't have a short on 12 volts, but okay, that's fine. Good there. Okay, we've got a short on that. Honestly, I don't know what that rail is. It's gonna be fun. I believe this is going to be like standby voltage here. getting anything in there? There we go. So that all seems fine. That seems fine. Seems fine. That's coming out of the south bridge. That seems fine. Alright, we got dead short here. So this area is concerning right here. Obviously it's going to be a low number. Make sure we don't have any shorts on these rails here. You can see the current draw big time. So we definitely have a short on that rail. So I'm gonna hook up to the thermal camera, and I'm gonna grab a clip so I can connect this to a ground. And then let's try to chase down this short and bring this system back to life. I'm kind of thinking it's gonna be a capacitor. It usually always is when shorts like this. Oh, I don't know if you guys seeing that. Okay, in the beginning when I took this off, I seen like a little charred area by the CPU here. Now check this out. This is the APU. There it goes. See if you guys can see that. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to point to it with the stick. Show you guys. But it's right here. That's right up on top of the APU, which I did see a little charring mark. It was weird. I've never seen that before. Like the paste like started corrosion or something. I don't know. It's weird. So a capacitor maybe on the APU. You can see I'm turning it on and off. That is pretty nuts. So it's going to be that capacitor on there that looked a little weird. Like it had some charged stuff. I don't know. I got it under the microscope. I'll pop that up right now. What is that? Something with the paste. But it's definitely, that's what's causing our short. So on the 1.8 volt rail. This ain't good, so we're gonna take a look at it under a microscope and put some rubbing alcohol on there and see if we can get a little bubbling or what, because it looks like that's getting pretty hot there. Instantly. So it's that cap. I mean, look how charred it is there. That thing is crispy. Crispity crunchity. Yeah, I mean, look at this. Let's remove this capacitor and see if we have a short. Let's try this again. My camera keeps freezing up for some odd reason. Alright, so we got that capacitor off. Doesn't look too healthy underneath there. Just gonna tidy up these pads here, and then we're gonna test and see if we still have our short on the 1.8 volt rail. If I can find my solder here. Pads don't look too healthy. That's a small trace there. A different way here. I mean, I doubt corrosion would have got here. There's actually no way that it's going to get there, but like I said, when I did take this apart, I did notice it looked like it was like kind of burnt or something there in that area. Alright, we still got to get some solder on that pad down there. Might have to change out my tip. There we go. Okay, this other one here. Alright, that should be good enough. Doesn't have to be anything too pretty. Just gonna wipe this up and we're gonna test to see if we have our short still. I mean, you seen those pads, they looked rough, the capacitor was burnt. I just ain't ever seen a shorted capacitor on the APU before, so that's gonna be a first. That's gonna be something to watch out for on these, especially if you have a short on that 1.8 volt rail. Let's take our probes and test that. So we got a short here. Oh, look at that. We do not have a short no more on that rail, on the 1.8. Are you kidding me? Wow. Let's test this other line up here, which I don't know what it is. Oh, and we don't have a short there. Wow. You've got to be joking me. That is definitely new to me. And you know what's odd about this one, when we look at it, it does have main traces going to this capacitor. So it's like this capacitor here is somewhat special compared to the other ones. Because you can see there's like trace wires going here into these versus the other ones don't. So that's like a main capacitor to look out for now. I mean, pretty good what we did. We found the short, we cleared it without no board view, which would have been nice if these parts would have been test points and stuff and have been numbered. So I'm going to pull this off a donor. Alright, so I got a capacitor stripped off. So hit this real quick. A little too much solder on there. Alright, so I got the capacitor here. I'm going to grab a pick so I can place this down proper. And we got a little too much airflow. That thing's going to go flying. So I'm trying to keep the heat away from the die as much as possible. Takes a while to heat up, that's for sure. I'm using a low temperature. Come on, seat down. Almost there. There it is. Alright, that's good enough. Oh, that's still hot. We're going to hit it with some... Would have been nice to clean off the thermal paste first, right? But... oh well. Alright. doesn't that look like such a better capacitor than what was on there? So that capacitor is important for something. Supplying the voltage to the APU, I do not know. That'd be my guess. Now let's test and see if we still have a short over here on our rail. Because we did just put that back capacitor in series. And we're good to go. Let's try to power this thing up. I mean, I'm going to let this rapid cool. I'm going to use some rapid cool technology on this and let this cool down. And we'll be back. Test it. Alright, so we're back after letting that cool down. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to put the heat sink on it right away. I'm just going to test to see if it powers up for a second. And then we're just going to unplug the power real quick, so we don't stress out the APU. Get our little controller board here. Alright, here goes nothing. Oh, we got power. Alright, I'm going to disconnect it real quick. Come on. There we go. Alright, so it looks like we got a booting system here. Let's put this back together. There we go. Let's see. We got power now. Let's go on display screen. The microscope camera still showing. There we go. There we go. As you can see, the Xbox is fixed and working. Good to go. So yeah, we got us a working Xbox here now. So that's pretty nice. All just because of this little itty bitty capacitor. So tiny. And it was shorted on the APU, which is basically sending the voltage, I guess, the 1.8 volts to the APU itself. And at the beginning of the video, when I was looking around for stuff. I did come across this looking kind of weird. Like there was dust or something, or corrosion. Not like a corrosion, but as you can see in the video. But how would we even known that was really shorted? By injecting the voltage into there. So by injecting the 1.2 volts I put in there, I turned up the current a little bit because it wasn't showing up in the flare camera. So by putting the current up a little bit, we seeing the APU start glowing, And sure enough, with the rubbing alcohol test, we did see that this was boiling and drying up real quick. And you can see the pins were actually, you know, like burnt in a sense. And the pads underneath it were also oxidized. So we touched up the pads and then put a new capacitor on there. Now we got a working Xbox. So I hope you guys liked the video. If you guys get a chance, give this video a thumbs up. Also, if you guys haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button right here. And as always, thanks for watching.